Martin here, back with a legacy video for the first time in a long time. If you're still subscribed to me, thanks a lot for sticking it out. Sad that I'm not producing as much content as I was, or any at all. I just took a very long break from Magic, and yeah, because of, you know, small kids, family stuff, and just kind of losing interest a bit after the whole Eldrazi chalice decks everywhere kind of thing. But I'm back here and I'm trying this I'm very excited about this this list that I'm playing. It is the trying to have your cake and eat it too list, where I want to be both fast and also able to play resilient games against blue decks. So fast, which comes out in the fact that we've got Empty the Warrens in the main deck as well as Ad Nauseam. We got a Chromox as well to make Ad Nauseam better, which also sometimes sort of synergizes well with Empty the Warrens. We'll got a Grim Tutor that also makes Empty the Warrens a bit better, I think, and then a Dark Petition, which could have been a second Grim Tutor, but I like that, you know, Grim Tutor and Dark Petition kind of fight for the same slots in my opinion, and one is better in some points, in some cases, and one in others. So and then the sideboard is where I really am having fun right now. Chandra Awakened Inferno is just nuts, versus basically any blue-white X control deck, so Miracles and Stoneblade. And I have a massive sort of counter plan against those types of decks. And then against Delver, I board in extra Tendrils, extra Empty the Warrens, plus my 2 Veil of Summer, and my Bayou to have a second green source, and board out Ad Nauseam and stuff. And then we got some stuff to round out the sideboard against the Thalia decks and Chalice decks. Whoops, there we go. So yeah, and basically I recorded the match the round 1 match I played yesterday, and I only started recording as soon as I realized it was Miracles, because I really wanted to record a Miracles match. But then I ended up recording or playing and recording the following matches later. So this video you're watching is right now this intro, which I am recording after the fact, and then I'm going to walk you through the recorded first match, and then we're going to play the last 4 rounds live. Yeah, I guess that's how it works. All right, so here is where I just realized I was up against Miracles, and here we go. All right. So I brainstorm here, and I think I've already forgotten. They forced a will something kind of strange. I think they forced a will to Lion's Eye Diamond, or I guess it could have been the Dark Ritual. I think it went Dark Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond, and then they forced a will to Lion's Eye Diamond, which actually made my hand really awkward. But I go for it here because I don't think they have the second force. And let's see, that gets to resolve. Yeah, I actually don't remember the details here, so it's hopefully it'll not be too boring, as I'll actually have to go through stuff with you. And we go for the Dark Petition, getting LED, I guess. It all depends on what I have my opponent on. So they brainstorm in response, trying to find their force, be that of will or negation. And we get to play. So I think the correct thing here is to just assume they don't have force and go for LED, and then Infernal Tutor for the Past in Flames and just win that way. Okay, no, I guess I just go for the straight up tutor chain to avoid the graveyard. Yeah, alright, and they concede. So off to the sideboard we go, and you'll see how I sideboard against what I'm assuming right now is the Miracles. I guess I don't know, but it's a Tundra deck with that didn't show me any creatures. So basically, just take all of this stuff, whoops, and bring it in, and plus the extra tendrils, plus the extra Flusterstorm, or the Flusterstorm. And yeah, you see what I bring out? A couple of LEDs. I've been taking out all 4 Infernal Tutors, but I actually think I like having one because one can kind of double as the or act as the third tendrils, in in quotation marks. And yeah, our plan against Miracles is basically just to play land go and Abrupt Decay any threat they have, be that a counterbalance or a creature like a Mentor. And if it's a Blade deck, then yeah, decay the Stoneforge. Blade decks are a little bit less amazing to play against with Chandra because they could just go like for a bit of more of an aggro plan with True Name. But I find like most of them, what they do is they tend to not want to drop a threat and rather focus on like getting either a lock piece in or just sculpting their hand to have like a counter wall, which is just amazing with Chandra. So yeah, bring out Dark Petition because it just like Grim Tutor is much more likely, I feel, to resolve when cast as the only spell of a turn. Like it's like if your opponent is on Storm and they have like 5 lands and they just tap 3 of them to cast Grim Tutor and nothing else, I think it's much more likely you let that resolve than if it's like a Dark Petition. Alright, so I keep this hand because I am just blinded by the Chandra, and I am also blinded by the fact that I'm quite close to casting her through a ritual. And our opponent just goes land go. We draw another ritual, so at this point it's still kind of fine. But right now, even with this, with the sideboarded land brought in, we have to recognize that we're actually, sadly for us right here, our opponent recognizes that sniping this Brainstorm might actually be good value. So they do that. I remember this part. And we kind of get stuck. Yeah, so they had the Spell Pierce. And now we're sort of in a bit of trouble, potentially, because now we're just drawing off the top of our deck, trying to get to those lands we need. But I mean, still feeling quite confident, because I don't feel like they probably aren't going to be doing anything worthwhile or too troublesome for me. But like, it would be kind of bad now, like to have them slam a counterbalance, for instance. And I don't know. It looks. Oh yeah. All right, so we just passed. All right, so they slam. So I play the LED to not have to discard it, although I could probably just as well just discard the Past in Flames at this point. Because with that Rest in Peace, it's not looking very likely, and I don't have a Decay in hand, and I'm sort of mana-wise also quite a bit ways away from actually casting Decay. Alright, so they play land. I actually draw the Decay. Yeah, and now I just start bricking so hard, it's very frustrating. Yeah. And also, this is at the point where if they, like, if I ever draw a cantrip, it's never getting to resolve because they can just see what kind of spot of bother I'm in. So I'm kind of relying on just actually having to naturally draw all the lands. And they just start flashing back or casting the Snapcasters just to get the beats on, which I think is quite reasonable. With Rest in Peace, Snapcaster isn't really worth a lot. Alright, so I'm just discarding cards here. I'm going to discard the Past in Flames, which I probably should have discarded as the first card, because what am I doing with the Past in Flames? Yeah, let's see. The good news is we are like one black producing source away from actually ritualing out Chandra if we can get the rituals to resolve, which is also kind of doubtful now, but let's see. They're taking long breaks on every spell we cast to consider if they should be countering that. Yeah, and I'm just bricking so freaking hard. I discard a Cabal Ritual. I probably should have discarded a Decay here, because it might actually end up like becoming irrelevant. Oh, and we finally draw land. If this Dark Ritual actually resolves, we can get to Chandra. But it looks like they are considering not letting it resolve. And I happen to remember that they... Oh, no, hang on. They let that resolve within what they counter this. I'm feeling very hopeful at this point, but I just remember that I never got to Chandra. Yeah, because they had the snare. Ugh, so bad. Basically, I'm just dead now. I think I go for like a couple more draw steps, and I just finally want to dress them to see what's up before I die, and then they counterspell that. And we concede the game. Alright, and I don't change anything sideboard wise. And in spite of being on the grind plan, kind of, I'm still not really confident enough to choose to be on the draw like in the old days when we had top and they had top and stuff. Because while it is about card saturation, I think it's also about not just falling too far behind, getting those cantrips out. So here we're at a point where we have one land again, but this time critically we get to cantrip on turn one. And we kind of have to get our 2 red sources out as soon as we can to be able to cast the Chandra eventually. So while Veil of Summer kind of would have been nice to have green for it. But here we just get what we want. We get lands. The second Tendrils we probably don't necessarily need. But yeah, feeling a lot better now. And they brainstorm at the end of my second turn. And I brainstorm in response just because I want to not have it like red blasted. And we get some more lands. And yeah, we just want to, if we can just get to actually cast Chandra, we should win in like 9 out of 10 games, if not more. So we just want all the lands, as long as they aren't like presenting threats. At this point, like what I'm most afraid of is actually like Vendilion Clique, I guess, to snipe my Chandra. Veil of Summer protects us, but you have to assume they would have a counterspell for that. Alright. They just go land go too, so that's pretty perfect for us. So we draw the island and just play the fetch. Alright. Still nothing. So do I draw the second Tendrils? I guess I don't. It's funny, I seem to remember ending up with a second copy of Tendrils, but I could be misremembering. Oh, that's why. Yeah, that's not the best, but it's not the worst either. So next turn, if nothing else happens, we'll be able to go Cabal Ritual, and the card Spell Snare is kind of scary because you do feel like probably they might, even though it's the first spell cast and a lot more lands on tap, they might want to Spell Snare that. But yeah, what can you do? And I'm surprised they go for the third island off of their Vista. I'm not sure what they have that could be trip blue. Oh, never mind. Obviously, it's because they want to brainstorm off their Snapcaster. Never mind. All right. So they get the beats on. Fortunately for us, a single Snapcaster Mage is no match for the mighty Chandra. And I think we just go for it here. And hope that we don't, like, if they do something here, we can Veil of Summer and at least get some value out of it. But they don't, they just let it resolve. We go get our Badlands. And feel my pulse quicken. Man, I love those. I love these kind of bomby cards. I used to play like Sphinx of the Final Word as well. This is even better. This is a lot better actually. Yeah, and the pause here is the opponent likely staring in bemusement. At their monitor. You'll have to excuse the music in the background. It's one of my kids' toys acting up. They get the emblem. And off we go. Alright, so they brainstorm. And, I mean, eventually Chandra, you're going to want to, like, -3 her to kill Snapcaster Mage, probably. Actually, probably not if it's just one, but I seem to recall them sniping in, like, another one. So at this point, I feel like I feel like it's going to be near impossible for me to lose. They don't even have a single white mana right now to represent going another white mana Council's Judgment, which is realistically probably the only solid answer to Chandra, other than having like just an insane threat level. Alright, so I don't know if they fell asleep there. Okay, yeah, so there's the second Snapcaster. So 2 Snapcasters will probably race my Chandra if I don't do anything about them. But fortunately, Chandra has a board sweeper as well against non-elementals. Yeah, I'm just looking at the Veil of Summer here. So, yep. They take their damage. With 2 Tendrils in hand and the Chandra emblem, yeah, it's just such a strong, such a strong play. Narset is kind of insignificant at this point. Suppose we could shoot her with Chandra if we wanted to. And they decide not to race, but instead to try and kill Chandra. And I think at this point I decide to untap and then just kill the 2 Snapcasters. I draw second Chandra, which is awesome. Yeah, kill the 2 Snapcasters. It drops Chandra down to 1, but they can't really remove a single loyalty counter from her, I don't think. I mean, even at this point, I'm at 15 life. Let's say they removed her now. Let's say they had like a volcanic eye. Sorry, not volcanic. They had a blue elemental blast, and they kill her now. It's like with 2 tendrils in hand and them getting 1 per turn, I mean, that will certainly be a blow for me. Not the fact that I have the second Chandra withstanding, but it's still just like pretty decent. Like, they aren't representing a threat. Eventually, I might have enough spells in hand to just kill with tendrils. Null Rod, sure. And now I get to make second Chandra and actually take her up twice in 1 turn, which I don't think I can sort of help myself to do. So they get 1 emblem. We make the second Chandra. Take her up. Because why not? Makes such a difference when a card can't be countered, right? Alright. So they go to clean up on their turn. I draw a petal. And yeah, just, I mean, at this point, it's a procession, I think. I don't think there's any way they aren't. The only card, I said that Council's Judgment is the only card that, like, really works against her, I think. I guess Blue Elemental last 2, but another card out of Miracles that isn't really seeing a lot of play, but could do something, is actually Entreat the Angels. Alright, so here I decide to try and go for, like, a mini Tendrils. And, by going like double Veil of Summer and then Tendrils, which is probably a little bit too sort of premature. So they counter that, and I Veil again. And then they countered that probably, right? I seem to recall. Yeah, Force of Negation. And then I Tendrils now, and the only card that beats the Tendrils is Flusterstorm, which I should have probably assumed that they had, but I feel like I'm kind of committed. And I still have my second Tendrils. If for some reason the game were to last like another 2-3 turns, or 3-4 turns, I could amass a couple more spells and actually use that. But as it turns out, they actually do have the Brainstorm. So I feel like I didn't need to do this. I should have just kept my cards in hand, and like the Veil of Summers might actually have come in hand. So now they Flusterstorm, and what actually ends up happening, I'm going to fast forward a bit because my opponent took a long time rearranging the Flusterstorm targets, and they actually end up messing it up and leaving me with 3 Tendrils copies to resolve. Which is, yeah, Flusterstorm can be a bit of a tricky one to resolve on Magic Online, but obviously that wouldn't have happened. They concede. I'm gonna completely maintain they would have lost anyways, and I think they probably feel that way too. But now they just ended up losing a bit faster. But my opponent was definitely a good sport about it. All right, so that was round number 1, and let's check out round number 2. Martin here, back with round 2 of this Legacy League Storm. We have lost the die roll. This is not a very good hand, depending on what we're up against. I think I'm going to mulligan. Yeah, this is better. Got the Brainstorm, so I'm going to keep and bottom the Volcanic Island. See how we go. Okay. Tarn into Volk into Delver, maybe? Yep. Alright, so it looks like Rug Delver or Blue-Red Delver. Not really sure. Feels like they would have kept open their land if they had Stifle, so I'm not gonna play around Stifle. Unless they reveal it, obviously. They don't. They whiff, so good for us. So I think if nothing else happens, I'm probably going to drop Underground Sea and Brainstorm. And I'm going to keep the Thoughtseize for when we need to, the turn we want to go off, ideally. But we'll see. Really don't want to eat a Pierce here, and we don't, so that's good. Alright, so I think the card to put back here is possibly Dark Petition. It's the card most likely to be an issue if they have Daze or Pierce. And we can get to Threshold, I think, realistically, maybe next turn. Let's see. Brainstorm is 1 and 1 card in the graveyard. Misty 2, Delta next turn 3, Petal 4, Petal 5, Thoughtseize 6. Okay, yeah, well. But we also need to put back another card, so we're going to put back one of the petals, I think. Yeah, even though, you know, petal like that, and go ahead and pass the turn. Let's see if they flip anything. They don't. That's lucky for us. Guessing they were going to show us a land. And Trop means Rug Delver. Okay, there's a wasteland. So now the question is, do we actually want that petal we put back? It's possible. Yeah, I actually think I like the petal now. Now we also, well, I mean, they haven't drawn Stifle. They could have drawn it on this draw step, as they, you know, fetched after revealing to or triggering the Delver. Wow, we're getting lucky here. We're gonna drop to 17, and we would have dropped to take the damage. Goyf. All right, I guess I don't hate them playing Goyf like from their vantage point, but it is nice to know that they will only have access to 1 blue mana, so no double pierce or anything. All right, not going to want the Dark Petition. All right, let's see. Ah, perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with Thoughtseize. So the worst case scenario is that they have blue card Pierce Force, because in that case we can't play around. I'm going to play Petal here to play around the Pierce, but in that case we can't play around it profitably and go off this turn. So let's see. Okay, so looks like they're going to do something. Badlands. Oh, bolt me, I guess? Sure. That is A-okay. So it's the 4-color thing at Gurmag Angler. Okay, so we have the all clear to just win through Past in Flames. Let's just go black and red. I'm actually not that happy to be playing against this deck. I'd prefer to play against Rug Delver because this deck is going to have discard after the sideboard. And Storm is so high we can just go grab a Tendrils. And they concede. Alright. I'm still testing the Veil of Summer, but I actually want it even more because it's also a discard deck we're up against. I also want probably the Bayou to have 2 green sources, and just having extra mana against the Delver deck is not bad. Want the second Empty, want the second Tendrils. Don't want the Ad Nauseam, don't want the Chromox, don't want the Dark Petition. And yeah, basically don't want stuff that just gets blown out by 1 counterspell, and is also like Ad Nauseam also being sort of life total dependent. We'll probably Rain of Filth. I go back and forth whether or not I like it in this matchup. Cut a Preordain. Yeah, cut the second preordain. Hope I don't face too much discard. Alright. Yeah, we can't really ask for better. Just hope they don't have the turn 1 discard. And they also keep their 7. Okay, they don't have turn 1 discard. If we draw Dark Ritual, okay, Duress. I think I'm actually going to fire off Thoughtseize here. Off the swamp. And because if they have a pierce or something, they're going to pierce that, and then we don't lose the life. I'm not really that worried about their creatures. And then next turn, hopefully if we can draw another land, we can go and do goblins. We can do goblins as it is, but then we won't be able to also discard them, and we won't be able to play around days. Okay, Grafdigger's Cage, sure. Obviously that lines up very favorably for us right now. Okay. This is sadly a bit awkward because we can't really do anything. I don't think they. I mean, they were going to have at least one more piece of interaction. We could have duressed on that turn, but I really want to duress on the turn where I go off. Okay, I might just end up having to pay for that because now they. I was going to say they have access to black. All right, let's see. Alright, back for round number 3, lost the die roll. Yeah, this seems imminently keepable. Plays around Chalice for 1 even, which is very nice. Let's see. So I'm currently playing during daytime in Europe, which means I'm probably likely to face people from Asia and Australia, or sort of late nighters on the west coast of the US. I definitely notice a lot of Japanese sounding names, this not being one of them. Stompy X. Okay, Foothills. Could be Delver. Rug Delver, okay, no. So, what's this? Green's on for 0, okay. Right. So this is decision time. Do we believe that 10 goblins is going to beat that? They're going to untap with 3 mana and potentially be able to do Knight into... I'm not sure. Huh. Yeah, if they have, I'm guessing Savannah, I'm guessing they don't have Tabernacle, but the big fear for us is them untapping for their turn 2 and being able to, like, Thalia or Gadokteeg. So that's the risk, but I'm not sure that 10 goblins actually gets there, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the risk here. I'm going to delta out an island and ponder and hope if I find like a petal or a dark ritual, then I'm definitely going to go for it. And I do actually find both. So what would I rather still have in the deck? Oh, hang on, actually. The dark ritual might even make this... Tell you what we can do. We can draw the petal. Then we can brainstorm into both the Infernal Tutor and the Dark Ritual and whatever's down below. And will that get us to Threshold for a Past and Flames kill? Let's see. So Ponder is 2 in the graveyard. 2 petals is 4. A Dark Ritual is 5. A Brainstorm is 6. So, not quite. But that's still like, at the very worst, it's like a lot of Goblin tokens, which I think should be fine. Okay, so this is... We could also have gone for like Ad Nauseam, but I like this more. Ooh, Dark Petition even. So get rid of one Infernal Tutor, get rid of the Bloodstained Mire. Yeah. We should have enough for a Past and Flames kill here. Even though we don't get the Threshold. Right, because we'll have 4 with the Cabal Ritual. 7 with Lionside Diamond. Untap, or Infernal Tutor down to 5. Past and Flames down to 1, but then we can go Dark Ritual into Infernal Tutor, into Cabal Ritual. Sorry, into LED, Cabal, cast that, so that's 4 mana. So yeah, the key will be if we'll have enough to do the Threshold Cabal Ritual flashbacked. Boom, boom, boom. Well, this is going to get cast regardless. So, sack for red. Yeah, we should be fine. Past and Flames. Dum dum dum. Dark Ritual. Infernal Tutor. Get LED. Cast LED. Sack for black. Cast Cabal Ritual. Cast Dark Petition. And get Tendrils. And There we go. So that was a spicy turn 1. Alright. So Wooded Foothills leads me to believe that they are also like a Wrenn and 6 type deck. So like 4-color loam maybe. And what does that mean for us? So we didn't show them empty. They will probably assume we do have empty though. After board. So I'm gonna expect like a Plague Engineer or some kind of sweeper effect, but probably not too much. I guess like Massacre is really weird. Weak versus Gadok Teague, which I think is probably the Haper most likely to show up, but so maybe we just want Chain of Vapor and Echoing Truth and a single Decay. And we can take out 3 Duress. And leave it at that. Do we want a 16th land? Probably not, for just the 1 Decay. Alright, I think I'm going to try this and see if I just get like Thalia and Canonist and whatever, we might want we might want a Massacre for game 2 or game 3. So I'm gonna, they keep 7, so they found something that they like. Might be like a Leyline of the Void. I'm gonna keep this even though it's kind of not what you want on the draw against like a Savannah deck, because it's a little too sort of pensive with 2 cantrips, only like a little bit of mana and no business, but it's a decent hand, and we might be able to recover from a turn 1 or like their turn 2 play. Would be kind of sad if they have like a Mox Diamond and Chelas on 1, but they don't. They have Chelas on 0. Interesting. That's definitely not nothing. I feel like we're gonna Thoughtseize them here and take whatever their turn 2 play is going to be, and hopefully it's only 1. And they have 2 Wastelands, so that's kind of iffy, but not impossibly bad. And what do we care the most about? So Green Sun gets them Gadok Teague, but that's 2 turns away. Sylvan Library is next turn, and then they get to untap and like draw 3 cards and really get to their hate. Oh, that's tough. I'm going to take Sylvan, because that also incentivizes them to not wasteland me to get the Green Sun up and running, but they will probably wasteland me. There's a wasteland. Oh no. Ah, they found Thalia. That's kind of brutal. Okay. So I guess we are going to... We could have played the Volcanic, and maybe they would have wasted the Volcanic over the Underground Sea, but it's pretty unlikely. Yeah, let's grab the Misty and then draw into the Dark Ritual. That gives us a shuffle effect. We're going to be kind of boned on black mana though. So what do you do here? Yeah, you just waste and say never mind about the Gadok Teague. We don't need him. Suppose they could go Green Suns for 0 and get Dryad Arbor and then be able to play a Knight of the Reliquary next turn. Depending on what their third unknown card is, I guess I kind of like that. Looks like that's what they're doing. Yeah, sure. So they have Knight of the Reliquary dropping next turn. So we have like... Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have not put the Dark Ritual on top. I think there was a preordain. So I'm gonna play the volcanic here and do a crappy brainstorm. Put back petal and dark ritual, and next turn we will, I guess we'll preordain. They won't be able to both play Night and Wasteland unless they draw like a third Wasteland, but the issue is that the issue is, like, we can't fetch out black. Oh, they play their own Tormod's Crypt into their own Chalice. That's unfortunate. Yeah, so we can't really, we're kind of, if we want green, because we didn't bring in the Bayou, we have to fetch Trop. And if we want to eventually be able to, eventually be able to play our rituals, we need black. So at the moment, we're kind of not in the best place. I suppose we get the Underground Sea here, and we preordain. Yeah, we don't want either of this. Infernal Tutor is good potentially, but yeah, we're still struggling here. If they can get to another Wasteland, that's basically it. Let's see. Okay, so they're kind of breaking on lands right now. That's our luck here. Okay, drawing more brainstorms, and that's so bad. Yeah, whatever. Put back Dark Ritual, draw Dark Ritual next turn. We are running out of time. That we kind of needed a fetch land there, I feel like. Fetch land there, and we could have gotten, there's a chance we could have gotten to be able to decay Thalia and go off in the same turn. Their draw steps are also just very scary, right? They can draw another Chalice, potentially. Another waste. Oh, wow, okay. I'm going to concede here. Yep. Because that basically means we are dead. We know the extra draw steps, and they aren't helping us. Okay. I feel I'm going to bring in Massacre, and then they're going to go like... they're going to play Galactique instead of Thalia, but... yeah, gonna do that. Gonna... I don't know. Like, I was gonna say gonna bring out Chain of Vapor or Abrupt Decay, because one is great against Thalia and Galactique, and one is great against Chalice. Is there something we can sort of stand to not have here? I don't feel like going down to less than 4 discard spells, because we're on the play here. Maybe 4 answers is too many, like Echoing Truth, Chain of Vapor, Decay, and Massacre. So I'm going to go down to 0 Decay. It also puts the most strain on our mana base. Let's see. Though, Ad Nauseam doesn't get better with another 4-drop, but yeah, whatever. This is awkward. This is really awkward. I mean, that Tendrils is just not doing anything. So what can we do? Like, if we were to draw an LED, we could go turn 2 10 goblins. But that requires us to draw an LED. Oh, I'm going to send it back. It's sort of on the edge, though. Yeah, all right, let's keep this. Let's keep this and hope that the Massacre sort of aligns with what they're doing, and that we don't get chaliced. I do feel like they're the 4-color Loam deck, so they are due to have a Mox Diamond opener, which means a turn 1 something nasty. And Savannah is a Plains, so there's that at least. Green Suns for 0. Okay. So the question is, do we brainstorm end of turn in case we need the second, or like our blue the second mana of the second land? I don't think so. I think we get a card deeper. Come on. Okay. LED, and I think we probably win. No LED. So let's put back Tendrils and Bloodstainmire. No, Tendrils and Swamp, actually. And we can fetch out Swamp, and we'll Thoughtseize them, and then we have the option to basically massacre their Dried Arbor if we somehow feel like that can help us. They have Surgical Extraction, I think. No, okay, Fairy Macabre. So, if we take their Fairy Macabre, they might smell that something is up and play Caracas and then Thalia. And in that case, and just keep Caracas open forever, and that's not going to be so good for us. I think we have to take the Thalia here and just have to contend with them having a Fairy Macabre to mess with our graveyard. Yeah, I said Surgical because they were like debating. They were like waiting when I had Thoughtseize on the stack, and that usually means they have like a 0 mana effect or something to cast. And in a deck like that, that would usually mean like Surgical or, I guess, Fairy Macabre. Okay, so they drew something. Maybe the Jit? No, okay. What's this? You may play land card from your graveyard. Importantly, has 3 toughness. Okay, so that means their wastelands are, you know, super duper steroidy, but doesn't mean a whole lot more. So that means next turn we get to Ad Nauseam, but we will have been attacked down to 14. Right? And we will have 0 mana floating. I suppose we could go Infernal Tutor for another Dark Ritual here. But then we'll get Wastelanded. But maybe that's not the end of the world. We could also Massacre now to take 1 less damage next turn. For the Ad Nauseam to be potentially a bit better. The Jite in their hand also means that our Goblin plan is kind of worse for wear. A lot of choices. So let's actually take the Ad Nauseam here. I think that's probably our best bet. And drop the 16 Infernal Tutor for Dark Ritual. And then they'll wasteland the land we fetch out, and we'll basically have to go with 1 mana, 1 black mana floating, and be at 13 life. Good thing is we'll have like one of our 4 drops is out, but yeah, it's not a pretty spot, but I think that's what we're going to be doing. There's also a chance that they were just not going to attack with the Dried Arbor next turn because they want to use the mana. So right now we're going to get completely wrecked by a Ghost Quarter or a Chalice for 1 or a Gadok Teeg. Those cards destroy us. And Gadok Teeg, they'll get him if they draw like a Green Sun Zenith. So it's not nothing that can wreck us here. There's a Wasteland. Let's hope let's hope they waste, because that means they can't. Oh no. Okay, sure. Okay. I guess that means they will attack with both creatures. Oh man, if only Massacre was instant. Okay, Petal is good. Petal is excellent. And yeah, there's no real reason to cast the Massacre quite yet. So let's actually just blow all the black mana here. I'm guessing they are considering if they should be using the fairy. Okay, and actually drawing Chrome Mox reminds me that there's actually a very good reason not to just blow out the Massacre. Alright, excellent. Okay, Past in Flames now means that we die to the Dark Petitioner in our deck. That's a 1 in 41 odds though, so we need to keep going because we need at least like another Infernal Tutor or a Lineside Diamond to make blue mana to have some cantrip gas or something. Grim Tutor kills us as well. Not doesn't kill us, but I mean Green Tutor isn't good enough. Yep. Okay, a land is good because, well, I mean, it's potentially good. It's not good if we draw more lands, but we haven't made our land drop. No. Well, Petal, great. What was that? Another land. Okay, now quite a few things kill us, but I think we're gonna have to stop here. Okay, so let's cast the Chrome Mox, imprinting the Massacre. It won't matter now. None of those two creatures do anything on this turn. I suppose there was a world where we would wait another turn. They can only beat us down to 1, but I don't like that. So let's cast these rituals. And, I mean, if we can find Tendrils, we win. If we can find Empty the Warrens, we might win. So let's start with this Ponder. Or a Dark Petition. Heyo! So Dark Petition wins us the game as well. Glad I didn't keep going. Another few cards. So I guess we can. So if we Past in Flames, then they Fairy Macabre and they have to take Infernal Tutor and they could take another ritual. That potentially leaves us dead if they actually also have a Surgical Extraction. Because then they can Fairy Macabre, take the Cabal Ritual and Infernal Tutor, and then Surgical our 3 Dark Rituals. And I know that there's no real reason to do all those things. We can just get Tendrils now, but they might have, like, randomly have something like a Mindbreak Trap. But I'm going to guess that they don't have Mindbreak Trap. So I'm just going to go for the win. and go and get Dark Petition to get Tendrils of Agony. We wouldn't even need Spell Mastery because we have 4 mana after the Dark Petition. So yeah, we could get, like, if we get a Thoughtseize here, we would have 4 plus 3, that's 7. Minus 1 from the Thoughtseize, that's 6. Then 4 after the Past in Flames. But Thoughtseize, and then they respond by surgical extracting the Dark Rituals, and so it doesn't really beat that. So I'm just going to go with this. And assume they don't have Mindbreak Trap, or some other thing that I'm not thinking about. Let's see. So they aren't conceding. I'm not loving that. Okay, there we go. Cool. So that was round number 3. I'm just going to queue up right away for round number 4. Sitting pretty at 3-0. So I definitely feel like that the price I'm paying for playing this build and getting some edges against the blue decks is that I'm slower against I'm worse for wear against the non-blue decks like I just played here. And yeah, like if they had an explosive turn 1 or turn 2, that could definitely have wrecked us, but man, we got there. Alright, taking a bit longer than I was hoping for. Okay, there we go. Alright, and I win the dice roll, or the die roll, only one. Let's keep, and yeah, Tendrils is a bit awkward, but alright, they keep 7 as well. Alright, actually let's start with the Preordain. Don't need the Duress, would like the Lion's Eye Diamond. Uh-oh. Bloodstained Mire usually means like Black Red Reanimator or the Mirror. But could mean 4-color Delver, I suppose. Okay. So I guess we probably take, even though this is sort of, it's not really that great, but I guess we take the Chrome Mox and imprint a Thoughtseize, I guess. Just because if it is the Black Red Reanimator, that's probably something we have to do. There's no way we can get to like silly Tendrils this turn, I don't think. Let's see, we could go draw the Ponder off the Lotus Petal, draw the Chrome Mox, and print. But now we'd be struggling for mana even at that point. Yeah, I think we take the Chrome Mox and Thoughtseize them. And if it's not combo deck, then we still can appreciate having the continuous black mana source, and we can ponder next turn. I suppose there is a world where we imprint the Tendrils and leave ourselves only with MT to win with, but I don't like that. Let's see. If it's Black Red Reanimator, I expect oh, Force of Will. Interesting. Okay, so maybe some kind of Grixis control deck. They pitch Snapcaster Mage. Hope they don't have Decay for my Chrome Mox. That would kind of suck. Hope they don't him me, but they do, I guess. Ugh. Yikes. So let's ponder. So what can we get to here? We have 2 mana, 3 mana, 5 mana, and we have currently 5, 6 cards in the graveyard. So we'll have Threshold. So 3, 5, 8, back to 3 with the Grim Tutor, or like back to 5 with the Grim Tutor. So I think I'm just gonna go hell for leather here and hope they don't have the second force and that they can't like him us again here or Thoughtseize us. Hope their next turn is to play like a Planeswalker or something. Oh, vomit. Okay. That is going to be rough to get through, but let's see. So next turn we draw a second Dark Ritual. We'll be able to go 2, 4, 6. So not enough. Baleful Strix. Okay. At least Baleful Strix is not really that much of a clock. Yeah, we'll just have to pass here. I guess Bolt Me, probably. Okay, Brainstorm. I mean, they're also getting to draw into more Force of Wills here, but can't really do a lot about that. So, Jace, maybe? Okay, another Brainstorm. So I guess like an LED or a Cabal Ritual would kind of be nice here, but I'm starting to lose my cool that they haven't drawn a second Force of Will. Liliana? Grimig Angler. Okay, sure. Come on. Okay, Brainstorm is kind of good. Dark Petition. Is that good enough for us? So Dark Petition, maybe next turn. So next turn, let's say we Thoughtseize them now. We put back Preordained Dark Petition. We Thoughtseize them. We on tap. We have 2 mana. Becomes 4. Becomes 6. Becomes 4 after Dark Petition, which grabs LED. Makes it 7. So at that point, we can go storm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and get 12 goblins. And we will have been attacked down to 13 and make that 10 with the Grim Tutor. Is there a way where we win with Past in Flames though? So next turn 2, 4, 6, 4, 7. No, there isn't. And we also will be lower even because of Thoughtseize, but I think that's still the plan. Alright, let's see what they got. And very fortunately for us that we do that and take that nasty spell. Okay, well, I mean, that's good, right? Because they would have to draw like a discard spell or a Force of Will, or I guess just any counterspell type card would do. But yeah, let's see. Let's see if we get to do this. And let's see if it's good enough, more importantly. Spurp. Okay, so we get LED, right? That's the plan. Get empty. Make the 12 goblins. And we're basically we're gonna have to chump Gourmet Angler all the time. But if they aren't drawing more creatures, that might be okay. They're down to 15, so which is not nothing. 14 now. So they're thinning because they need to draw into their second sweeper effect or whatever. Okay. And they decide to stay back. Okay, that's interesting. I don't think that is going to make sense for them, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to hang back with 2, I think. So I attack with 10, 8 connect that drop them to 6, and I'll have 10 left. That should be fine. I'm not sure, maybe I should have attacked with 11. I'm not sure that there is any way that they can both bolt me and get rid of a creature, but yeah, let's do it this way. They're doing something. Okay, I have to sacrifice a creature. Okay, so if their last card in hand is Bolt and they draw another Bolt and I sacrifice one of the untapped ones, then I die. But, I mean, hang on. I'm just going to sack one of the ones they blocked. Easy. So yeah, I think they should have played it on damage, or like before damage. Yep, okay. So, I'm not going to play the land, just because I don't see it being a thing, and I might want to brainstorm it back or whatever. Okay, they're doing something on damage step. Okay, they want to return a sure. Okay, that's kind of strong. I still think we very likely win, but let's see. Gives them another draw off the Baleful Strix to hit the Deluge or Plague Engineer. Okay, they didn't. Sweet. Well, how to survive 2 Hymn-to-Thorax. I want the Veil of Summer. I didn't see Wastelands. That doesn't mean they're not there, of course. I don't see myself wanting a whole lot more. Maybe the Chandra. Like, actually, no, because they're going to be discarding us. I was just thinking that Chandra might actually be a thing, because it seems like a deck that doesn't really have a lot of clock. It had the Angler, but they might just want to be, like, they might dial it back and just be, like, trying to sculpt counter spells and stuff, in which case Chandra would be great, but, eh. Alright. Let's go with these 2 Veil of Summer. And I don't feel like I should be boarding in Bounce or Decay. Let's maybe take out Dark Petition in case they have like Leyline of the Void. And cut Cabal Ritual. Alright, yeah, I think we can keep this. And they keep their 7 as well. No Leyline. No Thoughtseize. That's nice. So, do you play the Lion's Eye Diamond or don't you play the Lion's Eye Diamond? They have like Kolaghan's Command, but that's not for this turn. Which they might have boarded out, but probably didn't. I think we play it. That's like a really good way to beat this Hymn to Torag. That seems like it's probably coming. 1 mana, destroy target artifact would upset me greatly. Okay, sure. Okay, no Hymn to Torag. Good. Think we pass here. Another brainstorm. I'm guessing that they have the hymn and that they're just stranded on not like they were planning to hit a fetch line or whatever to get the second black source. Oh, they are not finding it. Let's see if it's the next card down. And it is, because they choose not to shuffle. Alright, so I feel like it's a certainty we're getting hymned here. Yep. Let's brainstorm. And, okay. Hey, that's kind of fun. We can Veil of Summer. That forces them to Force of Will, which balances out the sort of card disadvantage. And they might have something like Surgical, so getting Tendrils into the yard might be kind of bad, but let's see. Actually, let's put back. We're going to be fetching, so we're going to lose whatever we put back. Let's put back Chromox and Volcanic. And let's try and see if we can get to resolve this Veil of Summer. Let's hope they don't have days. That would upset me greatly. They have to force here if they have it, right? It's too much of a swing if this resolves. Okay. So let's hope that Tendrils and Past in Flames go into the yard. Dark Ritual, Past in Flames, okay. It's not the worst. It's not the best either. Okay. So does this get us there? We have 3 mana, 5 mana, 8 mana, 7 if we Thoughtseize, then 2 with Past in Flames. So let's see how much Storm do we need, because they're at 17. So we can go Dark Ritual 1, Thoughtseize 2, Past in Flames 3, Dark Ritual 4, Dark Ritual 5, Brainstorm 6, maybe? Can we have, are we able to get that kind of mana? So I think we need to start off with the Dark Ritual. And let's Thoughtseize them. Okay, I guess we can take the Toxic in case we somehow end up having to go with the Goblins, but it seems unlikely. Alright, so let's go fetch red. And let's sack for blue, I guess. Past in Flames, just need the 1 black remaining. So, almost messed that up. So they have not cast anything this turn, so we won't draw with Veil of Summer, so yeah, we kind of have to brainstorm here and hope to hit something, which we do. So we can put back Ponder and Ad Nauseam. We go Petalus the 7th. Thoughtseize the 8th. Yeah, so we got there. So we can go Thoughtseize, take Snapcaster, Tendrils. Yep, sweet. 4-0. The dream is alive. Let's see if we can get there. Wow. It's really hard to evaluate that Veil of Summer there. Like, it traded with a Force of Will, but at a really weird point in time, right? With the Hymn to Torag on the stack. If they hadn't had Force, it would have been even. It would have been a lot better. It would have been great, because then their Hymn just fizzles and we get to draw a card. But even as it was, I mean, I guess it was just the equivalent of a Spell Pierce. No, not even that. No, it wasn't, because if we had, let's say we had, for some reason, had Spell Pierce in our deck, I don't think they would have forced necessarily, because Spell Pierce doesn't cantrip, right? So yeah, I don't know. Veil of Summer, it's a real card. But I was speaking to someone who also made the very good point that it's possible that Veil of Summer is better against Storm than it is in Storm. So that doesn't mean that it's not really good in Storm, of course, but it's just worth noting. And like, I think in the mirror match, it's just amazing. In the mirror match, I would want Veil of Summer over Flusterstorm like all day long, because like, yeah, if they go off, then it doesn't really stop that one Dark Ritual, but it can sort of nullify it, right? Because as soon as they start chaining rituals, at the first time that they like try to discard you because they are thinking something might be up before they kill you, you just Veil, and then they have just fizzled, and they have just, you know, it was all for nothing kind of thing. And even just during the game, having that card advantage is pretty big. Like if you know, you go and turn one land go, they go turn one duress, and you Veil and get up a card on them, and they don't get to take the best card in your hand. That's it's really good. All right, really hoping for an opponent here. I don't know. So I'm superstitious. There was a point in time, like a year ago or maybe more, where people were saying that sometimes if the queue went for more than a minute or something, you might have gotten like into some cul-de-sac where you weren't ever getting paired, and then you could cancel and rejoin, and you would like often right away or like within 10 seconds get a matchup. So I'm kind of conditioned to sometimes do that. Doesn't really seem like it's probably not accurate, as we see here. Time just passing by. No one online. I'm probably not going to edit too much here, so you can go ahead and skip, like fast forward on your YouTube video until you see that I'm in the next game, I guess. But for those that feel like just hanging out and listening to my droning, I'll just be here. So we faced Miracles, 4-color Delver, 4-color Loam, and Grixis Control here. And yeah, obviously can't really complain. It's pretty fantastic to be 4-0. I was playing with some friends in Paper the other night with this build of Storm, and it went really well there as well. I played against like Canadian Threshold and like Blue, White, Red Blade and 4-color Delver, and 4-color Delver felt the most difficult, but even that felt kind of decent. So yeah, hoping for the number of Chalice of the Voids to remain kind of where it is right now and not climb, for Eldrazi not to pick up again. Alright, here we go. Win the dice roll in the last round. Can't ask for more. Boom. Okay. We are like a card away from greatness, but we're going to keep. And this hand promises a lot. It loses to Force of Will and to getting Brainstorm locked. But let's see. Fiery Islet. So Preordain makes me think it might be like Sneak and Show, but I haven't seen lists playing this card. I can see why you would. It's kind of good. It's like the new Canopy line of cards. So like they top. So it's really difficult to know if we should be like brainstorming now and just hope to hit a land and then be able to go, or if we want to play the bit longer game. They went top. Oh man, I mean if it's like show and tell, then I'm really concerned. I'm also really concerned to get Brainstorm locked here, but let's see. Okay, we don't get Brainstorm locked, so that's great. Alright, let's put back Badlands and an Infernal Tutor, and let's pass. Don't do it. Okay, not getting show and tell, I don't think. Okay. Tarmogoyf? Yeah. Alright. So, I mean, just trying to work out if we can actually tutor for a duress or something and win that way, but I don't think we are like really pressed to do that. Let's get Underground Sea. We have the red mana from LEDs. I mean, right now they're tapped out, and if they have force, so let's see here. We go a land that's 3 mana, that's 4 mana with Cabal Ritual, that's 10 mana with the 2 LEDs, that's 8 mana with Infernal Tutor, 7 mana with a discard spell, 5 mana, no, 7, then -5 from Past in Flames, and then 2 become 5 with Cabal Ritual, so we actually don't have enough. So I think we just have to pass, sadly. We could go for it, obviously, and just hope they don't have the Force of Will, but I'm not so convinced. And we're not really under a huge amount of pressure. There's a Wasteland, sure. I mean, if they also have a Stifle here, then that's kind of upsetting. But let's see. So what about now, right? So we can go land. Delta is 5. Petal is 4. Petal is 6. So let's say we do this. Let's say we go play the Underground Sea, fetch, play the Petal, cast Infernal Tutor, keep priority, or cast LEDs, keep priority, cast Cabal Ritual, sack LEDs. If we do that, then they force the Cabal Ritual, then the Infernal Tutor can go get like whatever, Empty the Warrens or something, and win that way. And if they have double force, then we're kind of boned. But let's say that they have 1 force and they let all that resolve. Infernal Tutor gets Thoughtseize. We will have we will now have 4, 7, 5, 10, 5, 8, 11, 10 with the duress. Yeah, then we should be fine, right? I think so. Let's see, they might have stifle for this, so. Okay, they don't. Let's get Badlands. Let's get Underground Sea. If they have force and days, that might be an issue, but let's see. Okay, so casting this and maintaining priority. Oh no, I made a huge mess. Oh my goodness. I didn't play the LED, I was just in my own mind here. Alright, tell you what. We're just gonna try and let this resolve. Try and recover here. Wow, what a punt in my final round, and I'm 4-0. How terrible. Okay. So, do we think they have? I think. So I'm gonna pass a turn here. That was a really strange force of will, unless they have a second force of will or some way to interact with the graveyard. But then they bolt me. Sure, that's fine. Okay, so next turn I'm actually going to just Cabal Ritual. And LEDs, and then cast the Past in Flames without sacking the LEDs, and that way we should be able to cast Past in Flames twice in one turn if they have a second Force of Will. Okay. Wow, what a giant punt. So in case any of you didn't pick up on what I had to play out my Lineside Diamonds before casting the Infernal Tutor. It's kind of like Storm 101, but I was just so caught up in talking and thinking about what I was going to do and what might happen. Okay, I'm glad they didn't find Wasteland, because we probably will end up needing the mana. And if they tap out here for something, that would just be amazing. They're also on 13 life, so. Alright, this card spell would be very bad for us. Yes, by all means, Ren and 6. The card that right now has really no text box against this. Okay, so I think we win now. Let's cast. Oh, wow! I am just playing like a complete idiot here. I should have sacked the pedal to get Threshold. Okay. So it makes me think they have the force, because they have force or days, because they're like thinking about stuff. Luckily, we got bailed out from our own bad play by drawing more LED. I guess if they have force of will now, they can actually just let this resolve, and then they can save the force for the Infernal Tutor, and that would be really bad for us. We would basically be down to like one brainstorm to try and get there. Okay, so that didn't happen, or that they let that happen. So let's. No, that should have been blue. I should have sacked an LED for each one for each color, because we might want more than one red, in case we need to empty the warrants. But it doesn't look like it, because they like now I have priority, and I can just start off by never mind. Wow. I'm really just not playing very well. Let's see if they have force for this. Okay, so they just had days, I guess. So I guess let's just pay for this, and let's sack the LED now, just in case. Their hands are 2 lands, so they can't have Force of Will anymore. So yeah, we got there. Wow. Okay, so another 4-color Delver deck, probably. So I'm going to board in the Veil of Summer. I'm going to board in the Bayou. And don't really feel like boarding a whole lot more. So let's... Yeah, actually, let's take out Ad Nauseam and Chrome Mox. Because I'm going to assume they're a Delver deck with like a... It's hard. Are they a Delver deck, though? Right? If they are Delver, then I kind of want second Empty the Warrens. And second Tendrils. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take out the 2 Preordains and a Cabal Ritual. That Cabal Ritual maybe should have been Dark Petition. Just because, yeah, I like taking out stuff that doesn't line up that well with counterspells. Okay, we're going to keep this even though it's a little bit awkward. Like, it's not that awkward. But we can just blindly go for 8 Goblin tokens on our turn 1. Because we have the second empty in the deck, and we can go Dark Ritual, LED Tutor. But we do kind of want to probably discard them. They mulligan to 6. So best draw here possible would probably be a Petal, so we can go Delta, Duress, and then Petal, Dark Ritual, LED Tutor. They put 2 on top. Actually, let's Duress them here. We could have gone with the Delta into Swamp, or just Delta. I guess they have a Daze, right? Yep, Daze and Blue Elemental Blast. And Wasteland. Ugh, I'm not loving that. Let's take the Daze. We're gonna get wasted, and they kept a card on top that they're drawing now, which if it's Force of Will, then I don't know. Like, I feel okay, it was a Delver. I feel probably they would have kept. They would have drawn the Force. All right, so like, I think we go for the 8 tokens, right? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, because they can then make Tarmogoyf. But I'm thinking probably we race them that way. So they will have, let's say they flip the Delver, they'll have like a 2-3 Tarmogoyf or a 3-4. Yeah, 3-4. And so they go, we swing in for 8, they block 2, they take 6, go to 14, they take 4, go to 10. No, actually, no. It's not good enough. All right, let's actually wait a turn. Let's see what they can flip here. Oh, wow. Okay, different game plan, I guess. And they drop down the Goyf, and the race is on. We're not out of it though, by a long stretch. So we're gonna get a Volcanic to potentially cast the Empty the Warrens next turn. Okay, we have to hope to fade Wasteland here. Wasteland would be pretty catastrophic. So let's see, if we go Dark Ritual. Just wondering if I can wait for one more turn. That'll drop me to 4. Yeah, let's wait one more turn. I'll brainstorm at end of turn on their turn. It really is risky, right? If they draw into that wasteland. If they have a blast for this, it's not great either, but okay, they didn't. Let's put back 2 lands and draw 1. All right. Let's see if we can, if they'll let us do some of this stuff. My plan here is to hope that they decide to save the 1 force of will for like the big tutor. So I'm gonna tutor for a Cabal Ritual here, and I mean it's a big risk because they can just, if they force this Cabal Ritual that I'm about to cast. I mean, if they let this, if they force this, then it's good. But if they don't, and then force the first Cabal Ritual that I cast, then we've just lost. Okay, so they actually forced here. So, I mean, that's okay. That's like 1 extra storm. Hopefully they don't have Daze or another force as their last card or a Pierce. They didn't. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to make a bunch of, or actually no, hang on. They're out, right? They're out of cards. They have the blue blast for our Past in Flames. But we should be able to go. Yeah, so look, we either have to just make the goblins now, make 12 goblins, drop to 1, and then next turn we can go Infernal Tutor, sack LED, get Tendrils, and maybe that's enough. That's just 4 life though. I'll drop 1, drop to 5. Or we can now go for something else. We can go Infernal Tutor. I think we have to do the other thing. Man, 1 more mana we could have gone for Infernal Tutor now, like after this, and then Tendrils. Okay, so Lightning Bolt kills us. A Sweeper effect kills us. And yeah, they're going to blast the last one. That's fine. We couldn't go for Past in Flames because of that blue blast. Okay. You'd think they'd be attacking with the Goyf, honestly, but yeah. Come on, spell I can cast for free. Okay, land. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So let's cast this. And sack this for black. And if they have Daze, then and we pick Past in Flames here, we lose. But if they don't have Daze, then we get Past in Flames, go Cabal Ritual, Dark Ritual. Then if it's Surgical, we also lose. We lose a Surgical and a Counterspell, or a Counterspell. Alternatively, we get a Tendrils here and just get 4 life, go up to 5, attack, and then we lose 2. So I think we have to go for the Past in Flames. Okay. Okay. Wow. Am I really gonna get away with this? Do you have Stifle? Nope. And I did this prior to combat just because. We get to win. No, there was, I don't think I had a very good reason. Boom! We got there. 5-0. Hooray! It's my first 5-0 since sort of coming back to playing. Wow, totally stoked about that. But I didn't run into any of my bad matchups, so, and I did have some luck, and I made some terrible plays. But yeah, no, that was awesome. I've played quite a bit, and I've gone well with the deck. I've had a couple of 4-1s and a couple of 3-2s and a couple of 2-3s, but my losses have usually come. I mean, randomly you do lose, obviously, just to 50-50 matchups, but probably like half of the time. But I have taken a lot of my losses to like Black Red Reanimator and to like Chalice decks. All right, well, with that, I'm gonna log off and do some other stuff. Thanks a lot for watching, and yeah, I don't know when I'll be back, but hopefully not too long. It's been good to play some Legacy again and make a video. All right, bye bye.